Hey y'all, welcome back to the Roads Less Traveled. On today's video, we're going to be reviewing this Moultrie Edge 2 cellular game camera. Alright y'all, I've been wanting to get my hands on one of these Moultrie Edge cameras for a while now. And I found this 2-pack on sale for $100 around Christmas. So at $50 for camera, I couldn't pass that up. These are the very first Moultrie cell cameras that I have ever owned. And I'm looking forward to diving into this video and checking these things out. I've heard a lot of really good things about these cameras on social media and from a couple buddies that have them. And there are a couple things about them that have kind of kept me from buying them up to this point, but we'll dive into that as we get further into the video. First off, I just wanted to go over some of the specs on the box of this camera, and then I'll kind of do a short little comparison to the difference between these cameras and the I guess the original Edge. This is the Edge 2, the newest version of the Moultrie mobile camera. And there's also a Pro version of this camera, so I'll kind of hit on some of the different specs for that camera. So for these cameras, let me just go over some of the highlights on the box here. It's a 36 megapixel image resolution. It shoots 1080p video, has a 0.4 second trigger speed. It says it has a 100-foot detection range and a low glow flash, and it says it has an extended field of view of 50 degrees. On the side of the box here, it actually compares the Edge 2 to the Edge 2 Pro, and they're pretty much the same. The only difference is the Edge 2 Pro is 40 megapixels, whereas the Edge 2 is 36. The Edge 2 Pro has a slightly higher quality video resolution, which is probably almost negligible. You probably can hardly even tell. The Edge 2 Pro shoots a 5-second longer video. It shoots a 20-second video instead of 15-second. It has a slightly faster trigger speed, which honestly you're probably not ever going to notice. See, the detection range, flash range are the same. The flash type, here's a big difference. The Edge 2, this camera, is low glow, whereas the Edge 2 Pro is no glow. I could see where, if you're on the fence, maybe the no glow would be a benefit. I have had some deer that I feel like are more cautious around trail cameras, and maybe that no glow IR flash would be less noticeable to those particular deer. So if the deer in your area are very wary, or if you're worried about people seeing your cameras, then the no glow might be the way to go. Field of view is the same, and there's all these little extra deals at the bottom here that the Edge 2 Pro has that the Edge 2 does not. The Moultrie Mobile AI, which is probably going to be able to look at your images and just tell what sort of animal is in that image. A live aim, which is a pretty handy function that I'm really fond of, and some other Wi-Fi or cellular cameras. It really helps to set the camera up. GPS. This camera doesn't have a GPS. GPS is pretty nice, especially for I guess theft deterrent, or if someone were to steal your camera and move it, then you have that GPS tracker and the ability to figure out where that camera is. And advanced NIR. I'm guessing that has to do with the NIR, I'm guessing, is no glow infrared. Something else that we'll get into after we unbox this camera is this camera has the ability to run on 8 or 16 AA batteries. That is a really cool feature in my opinion. If you're going to put this camera somewhere where you don't expect to come back to it for a year or 6 months or however long, then you probably want to go with 16 AA batteries. But if you're somewhere close that you're going to be frequently into that area, you're frequently going to be by the camera, maybe you just want to go with 8 AA batteries, because it'd be easy to swap them out when they die. And it's a little bit cheaper to run that way, at least in the short term. In the long term, it's the same. Just kind of depends on how long you're going to leave the camera out and how many batteries you have available, I guess. Another, I guess, feature of this camera that we'll go ahead and just briefly talk about. These cameras do not take an SD card. Now I understand why they did that, and some people could view that as a pro or a con. For me, it's a little bit of both, okay? One, as far as the Pro goes, it's easy. You don't have to get to the field and worry about you forgot an SD card. You don't have to worry about choosing the wrong type of SD card and the camera not working very well. You don't have to worry about someone stealing your SD card. You don't have to worry about that stuff, right? You just throw the camera out, turn it on, and use it. The big problem that I have, and a lot of the reason why I haven't purchased one of these cameras yet, is because I like having an SD card. And let me tell you the reason why. With these cellular cameras, the way that I run them, I usually run them on photo plus video mode. So the camera will take one picture, and that's what it sends to your app. You can request the video, but you have to pay a little bit extra sometimes, or you only get so many video requests depending on the type of camera you have. So it's not feasible to request the video for every single image you get, right? And that's okay most of the time. But what happens is that sometimes you'll get a picture and you'll say, oh, I don't need that video. Well, in actuality, there's something happened after the picture was taken that you really kind of needed to see the video. Well, if you don't know to request it, then you may never see that video. Whereas with an SD card, the way that I run it, I can pull that SD card at the end of the season, pop it in my laptop, and I can archive every single one of those pictures and videos from the entire season, and at that point I go back through them, right? So I have access to everything the camera's taken. Whereas with this, that might not necessarily be the case, okay? The images and videos are stored on internal memory in this camera, and the only way I believe you can access it is through the app. So if the camera for some reason doesn't send a picture, you'll never know it, right? If you don't request a video and something happened in that video, you'll never know it. One of the tests that I want to do is I want to see if there is a way to access the internal memory on this camera via like a cable to plug into your computer, and we'll do that after we let these things soak for a little while. I'm getting a little bit long-winded. I said I wanted to talk about the improvements between the Edge 2 and the regular Edge, so let's briefly, I'll throw up some of the different specs here. Alright y'all, so I found some of the key specs here. I'll throw up I guess a screenshot of the actual advertised specs so you can look at them in more detail. But the biggest differences that I see is the old regular Edge was only 33 megapixels, where the new one is 36, and the old one shot at 720p video, while this one shoots at 1080p. I'm sure there's some other differences, but that's going to be your major ones. Alright, I've talked enough. Let's go ahead and get this camera open and see what is in the box. Maybe. That's pretty cool. There's actually a little bit of a, it says success begins with an edge. Open it up and you have the two cameras just in a little plastic protector deal right out, and the cameras are just right here in the front, accessible. You just kind of pull them out. There you go. It's kind of interesting the way they, it looks like they rattled around in the box. You can see it. There's a little bit of wear on that corner. I'll set that camera to the side and let's grab the other one. A little bit more prevalent here. See that? So the camera just rattled around in that case and it's actually kind of scuffed up. Let's pop it open here. And like I said, this camera is very simple. That's one of the things that I do really like about it. I mean, there's pretty much just a couple of buttons. Like I said, there's no SD card, nothing to do. You can eject the batteries, pushing the eject button, and pull it out of there. And it looks like, I believe, it runs off of 8 or 16. So you can see there, it has on the side, if you're going to run it on 8, you put them on the side with the arrow, the 8 pointing to it. If you're going to run 16, you put them in both. Another thing I like about these cameras is how streamlined this antenna is. If you run some other cameras, cellular cameras, you know that the antennas stick up and they're kind of dangling around. You throw them in a backpack, you throw them around a truck. There's a lot of chance that they're going to break. This packing up like that, It's just real streamlined, and it's going to help protect that antenna while you're in transit or it's in your backpack. Let's see what else is in the box. Okay, looks like we got 2 straps with the kind of alligator clip deals there. And one more thing. Oops. There's these 2 little plastic clips. I'm not 100% sure what those are. We'll take a look at them in more detail in just a second. There's a sticker. You stick that on something, and a quick start guide. So there's not a whole lot in there. Okay, so apparently these little plastic clips have something to do with a solar panel cable lock, the Edge series solar panel cable lock. Interesting. I don't actually have that, so I'm not going to be using these for anything. Okay, well that's what's all is in the box. It's pretty cut and dry, pretty simple, not a whole lot in there. We're going to take and grab our quick start guide right here. Just open that up real quick, and we're going to go through these steps to go ahead and download the app and connect it to the camera. Alright y'all, so the first thing you want to do is go to your app store, whether you're on iOS or Android or whatever, and search for the Moultrie Mobile Wireless Cellular Trail Camera app. This one right here. It's pretty easy to find. I think it was the second one that popped up. And I'm just going to say get that and download it to my phone. We'll come back whenever that's finished up. Alright y'all, so while that app is downloading, I'm going to go ahead and put some batteries in this camera. I've got 8 AA's for now for the test purposes. I'm going to make sure I put them on the AA side. Also, just looking at the camera, I know I mentioned earlier I wanted to see if there was a way to access the onboard memory, you know, via like a computer or something. And it doesn't look like that's going to actually be an option. I don't see anywhere on the camera where there's any sort of port to plug in any sort of cable to access that onboard memory. So I'm thinking that's probably not going to be an option, which honestly is a little bit of a bummer. But that's just one of the things you have to sacrifice for, you know, a camera that is so simple to use. Alright y'all, so the app is downloaded. I'm just going to open it up here. Moultrie Mobile. And looks like I have to create an account. I'm going to go through that real quick, and then we'll come back on here and get it set up. Okay, so my account has been created successfully. It says, are you ready to activate a device? And yes, so we're going to say activate. It says activate a device by scanning the label. We're going to scan the label. We're going to allow access to our images. And let's find that right here. There we go. And as soon as you scan that, it goes ahead and pops up the plan information. So this is a good chance for us to go ahead and go over these plans. Looks like there's 3 different levels. We'll start at the bottom, the cheapest. The standard plan, it gives you 1,000 images and 10 videos per month. Additional images and videos are available for purchase. The unlimited plan gives you unlimited images and 50 videos per month. The cost difference there is like $4 a month or something like that. And also on this screen, if you notice, right now I'm displaying by billed annually. I choose to do billed by the month. That way I can deactivate these cameras on a month-to-month basis if I'm not using them, if it's not hunting season or whatever. And you can see the prices went up a little bit. The standard is now $10, where the unlimited is $17. So it's a difference of $7. I'm going to go with the standard plan for now. That's 1,000 images, 10 videos per month. Typically that's pretty good for the way that I run these cameras. I'm not typically running them on a bait pile. So 1,000 images should cover everything. The one thing I might do is I may pay a little bit extra for more videos, because since I can't access these videos off of an SD card, the only way I can get them is through that. So I'm going to want more videos available, so I'm more willing to request and download those videos. This plan includes unlimited cloud storage, high resolution downloads, and advanced image recognition. I'm going to get my payment information in here, and then alright y'all, so I got my account created, my payment information in there, and my plan purchased for this first camera. I'm just going to leave it as the default name for now. The upload frequency, there's several different options. There's immediate, 24 hours, 12 hours, 6 hours, and 3 hours. I'll leave it on immediate for now. The capture mode, photo plus video. Detection delay, we'll leave it at 30 seconds for now. It's kind of cool. It gives you these options to do an initial setup instead of just, you know, defaulting and then you having to remember to go back and change those settings. So that's pretty cool, Moultrie. We're going to say done. When on-demand setting is enabled, you can request a photo or video on demand at any time. I'm probably never going to do that, but for the purpose of this video, let's go ahead and turn it on and see what happens. Next. Alright, so now we're going to set up our camera. It says watch the video to see how to set up and use your camera. And I'm not going to watch it, you can. It's the purpose of making this video, to show you how to do it. So let's say next. We've already opened the latch door. We've already put our babies. We've already put our batteries in the camera, so we're good there. Next. Slide the power switch to on, and all LEDs will light up and the camera will connect. On. There we go. Our lights are doing some stuff there. I don't know how well you can see that. I said they were. They're not. Actually, my battery tray wasn't all the way in. Make sure your battery tray is all the way in. And switch it to on. And all the LED lights will light up. And the camera will connect. There we go. We've got lights now. And we're just going to wait for it to connect, I guess. The connecting light is flashing yellow. We're going to go ahead and say next on here. It says activation is complete. You're ready to deploy your camera. Okay, so what happens when we say deploy? When you say deploy, it just gives you some tips of how to mount your camera. We understand how to do that. Say next. You can pin your camera's location within the app. That's cool. I'm going to skip that for now. And it says deployment is complete. Done. Hey, looky there. The camera connected. It says has our battery life and it says connected. So we're good to go. Within our app now, we can see our camera and it says it's pending its first check-in and pending check-in for updated settings. Let's check on it here. We can see all of our settings. You can go in and adjust the settings at any time, so that's good. Go back. You can actually do a health check. That's cool, I guess. See, make sure everything's working appropriately. You see the plan information. Oh wow, you can actually schedule a time-lapse mode. So if you're overlooking a food plot or something, you can set this to take pictures, you know, on an interval 30 minutes before dark. If you know there's going to be game in the food plot or suspect there is, but they may be out of detection range. So that's pretty handy tool there. We're good. I think the camera just went into its active mode, you know. Looks like it's probably trying to send a picture now, so let's just kind of wait around and see if we can get the first picture off the camera and see what it looks like within the app. Alright y'all, so our camera has connected and has now sent me some pictures. So within our app, I went to the gallery and we can see our pictures here. And obviously it's just me just messing around here in front of the camera. But I wanted to point out that within, you know, your picture here at the bottom left hand corner, there's some options. You can share it, you can favorite it, request it, add it to an album, or delete it. So if you hit request, this is where you can request the video. And it says, you know, there, if it's on demand, you'll get that video right away. If it's not, you'll get it at the next check-in. I'm not going to use one of my video requests for this, but I will whenever we get this thing out in the woods and get some deer or other game on the camera. A couple other things I wanted to show you. There is a maps button down there where you can see your location, and you can check on devices, see all of your devices. I only set up the one of the two for now. I'll set the other one up sometime later. Then the devices, this is where you would click on your camera and you can see its status. You can go and check its settings and plan information. Also, I want to point out, this is where, if you go to plan information, you could purchase additional videos or pictures. So if I click manage plan, I can say change my plan. I can buy images. Say you run out of your 1,000, you can purchase more, or you can purchase additional videos. Let's just look at that. So it looks like for $1 you can buy an extra 50 videos. Okay, that doesn't seem bad to me. Okay, you know, that was one of my holdups about this camera, is that I couldn't go get all of my videos. But if it only cost me $1 for 50, then I'm going to be a lot more willing to request videos more frequently. So that kind of makes me feel better there. So that's cool. Also, like I said, you can purchase pictures. So if you run out of the 1,000 on the base plan, for an additional $5, you can purchase 500 more pictures. So that's, I mean, honestly, about what they would cost, because you pay, you know, what was it, $10 for 1,000? So it's $5 per, you know, 500 images. So that's on par there. Alright guys, so the next step is I'm going to get this camera out in the woods. I'm going to get it working. We're going to see what the pictures and what the videos look like, and then we'll come back immediately after this, and after I throw some samples up, and we'll talk about what we think of the quality. Alright y'all, so here's a little update on the Moultrie Edge 2 cell camera. The batteries on it, 8 AA's, only lasted for 2 nights, around 36 hours. So I'm headed over there now. I'm gonna put some new batteries in it. I've changed the settings in the app from the instant upload to twice a day. All right guys, I'm pulling up here and I'm about to grab this Moultrie camera. Today is January 11th and the thing has not checked in since January 1st. I put brand new batteries in it. What was it, Christmas Eve? So December 24th, and the batteries were dead on January 1st. So I don't know what the deal is with this camera, but battery life has been absolutely atrocious up to this point, and I'm honestly quite frustrated with it. All right y'all, I've got this Moultrie Edge 2 camera back here behind the house, and I'm gonna give it one more chance. This will be the 3rd change batteries. And this time I went ahead and put 16 batteries in the thing, so maybe we can get more than a few days worth of pictures and videos. Alright y'all, we're back out here with our Moultrie Edge 2 camera. It's been in this location since January 18th. Today is January 31st. So almost 2 weeks. During this 2 weeks, the camera has taken quite a few pictures and videos. Remember, it's on picture plus video mode, so every time it takes a picture or video, every time it takes a picture, it also takes a video. And you can see, just scrolling through here, I've got quite a few deer and some other critters. And honestly, the quality is pretty good. And I can't complain with that. I've been saving all my videos I've requested into a favorites folder, so you can just kind of click through them real quick. There's a coyote. We've got a couple deer here. So honestly, the camera is functioning the way that it's intended to, and the videos look like they're very high quality. The one issue I've obviously had throughout this test is with the battery life. So in 2 weeks, with 16 batteries instead of 8, the camera has not died, and it looks like we're at 85% battery, so we're doing much better. Now keep in mind, these aren't lithiums. They're regular batteries, so they're going to go a little bit quicker. But I realized something after the last time when this camera died, after just a couple days, even without the on-demand or real-time uploads turned on. So I had it turned on where it would upload every time I took a picture, and I disabled that, and the camera still died quickly. Well, I realized something. In the camera settings here, the on-demand status was on, meaning this camera was pretty much staying connected to the network constantly, so that it would know if I requested an on-demand picture. So what I think that did is I think that really puts a strong drain on the batteries, and I think that's the reason why the battery life was so poor. So it's kind of unfair of me to say this camera has terrible battery life when it was a user error, so just keep that in mind. If you're not going to be using this battery with an external power source or a solar panel, make sure you have that on-demand status turned off. With that being said, at this point I want to go ahead and put some example pictures and videos up in full resolution for y'all to take a look at, and I'll come back with some final thoughts. What do y'all think of those pictures and videos? I don't have a problem at all with the quality of pictures and videos getting off this camera. As a matter of fact, it's pretty impressive. So let's just kind of run through some of the pros and cons real quick, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts on this camera. So first off, a pro and a con. The camera does not have an SD card, right? So you're not going to be able to pull that SD card and have access to all of your photos and videos. To me, that's a con, but to some people it's a pro, okay? If you're not a very tech savvy person and you don't want to deal with SD cards, this is certainly a camera you can just turn it on, connect to the network, put it in the woods, and get pictures on your phones. And that's what they market it for. It does that. It works. Another pro to that, I don't know if this is an intentional one or not, but running cameras on public land, I have a lot of problems with people stealing SD cards. Well, there's no SD card to steal. Nobody's going to be able to steal my SD card and have access to whatever deer or critters I worked hard to get pictures of. So that's one thing that is the one thing I do like about it, okay? That's the one saving grace, in my opinion, to not having an SD card for me. Battery life, obviously y'all seen the hassle I had with that. If you put those settings right, I think it's adequate. I still don't think it's as good as it can be, okay? Now it has been pretty cold, That affects your battery life, so that could be part of it, but I still don't think it's as good as other cameras I've used. I think I'm always going to run 16 batteries in this thing, and I'm never going to enable the on-demand. Let's talk about the plans. The plans are relatively affordable. I'm on the cheapest option. I do like the fact that you can purchase extra high-resolution videos, and I feel like if you're using this camera and you like having videos, you're going to have to do that, okay? You're going to have to pay extra so you can get more than 10 videos for every 1,000 pictures. You're just going to have to do it. Otherwise, the whole video function of the camera is going to waste. And another aspect of that, you're going to have to remember to request those videos. That's not something that I'm accustomed to doing. I'm used to, you know, just getting the pictures, and then I was like, if it's something I really want to see right then, I'll request the video. Otherwise, typically, I just let those videos sit on the SD card until I have a chance to run by there and check them. So that's pretty much the camera in a nutshell. The pros and cons as I see them. But ultimately, what are my thoughts on this camera? This is where I'm probably gonna get out there a little bit, okay? Some of y'all may see it differently. If you do, that's fine. I think this thing's a scam, man. I think Moultrie is pulling one over every single one of you out there that love this camera, all right? They are forcing you, okay, to pay more for data plans to access the pictures and videos that should be yours. What I mean by that is that how many pictures and videos does this camera take that for some reason there was an error uploading it that I'll never know about? How many videos am I not going to request because there's nothing interesting in the picture, but there might have been a huge buck on? I'm never going to know. I can't pay an astronomical amount and remember to request every single video. It's just not feasible. In my opinion, Moultrie is marketing this thing as simple and easy to use. What they're doing is they're conning you out of paying for more data usage so that you can get what should be yours for free. If you chose to not, you know, have to be forced to request the videos. Again, like I said, that's kind of a out there take. Moultrie, do better. I mean, if you're not going to give us even the option to use an SD card, you know, like Tacticam, the new Tacticams, they have internal memory, but they also have an SD card slot, giving you the option to do that. Give people the option to put an SD card slot on the camera, all right? Or if you don't want to do that, I understand why you wouldn't, because it creates all sorts of headaches. People using really poor SD cards and complaining that your product's crappy because it's not working right. All right, well then put like a USB port on there where you can plug it in and access that memory via a computer. How hard would that be? I don't know, y'all. Like I said, I think the camera serves its purpose. I think there's probably an audience out there that the camera's right for, but I'm sorry, it's just not me. I mean, it's just not. I need access to all the videos my camera takes, and I'm not willing to pay $5 per every 50 videos I request in addition to my normal data plan. I'm just not. I want access to everything. Am I going to keep these cameras? I probably am. I'm probably going to put them on some public land in some places that I have problems with people stealing SD cards. Because I can lock the camera to the tree and I don't have to worry about them stealing the card because there ain't one. So there is a purpose. I just think that you should be aware of the potential, you know, misinterpretation of this camera before you buy it. Just understand that their big pro is also a pretty big con, and you're not going to get all of your pictures and videos off this camera. It's just not going to happen. Even if you did pay, you know, for all the extra videos and you requested every single video, there's going to be issues along the way. There's going to be poor cell signal, the camera's going to malfunction, something's going to happen, you're not going to get it, it's going to be corrupted, something's going to happen and you're not going to get all the data the camera takes. It's just the way it is. That's my opinion. Anyways, y'all, I've been pretty long-winded on this video. I'm not gonna lie, this one's been frustrating to make. I've had issues upon issues with this camera. It's taken me around 2 months to get to this point. I hope it helps somebody out there. Y'all don't be too hard on me on the comments. I hope y'all have a blessed day, and I hope you remember, take the roads less traveled.